Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and for everyone who's new here, hi, my name's Lara and I'm glad you found me. Today we are going to do a little bit of an announcement video and color and chat. Sadly, I have to announce something not so great again, so stay tuned and get something to color for yourself or something like that, and just listen if you want, or do something else creative. We are coloring the rest from this picture I started from the magazine Ausmalen nach Zahlen exklusiv, or Color by Number exclusive, from the magazine publisher Megastar. Here in Germany. I think they publish in Switzerland and Belgium too. But yeah, announcement-wise, first of all, I am very sorry that you guys didn't see a video for a longer time. The last videos I uploaded were the monthly wrap-ups, as far as I know. And I wanted to do a Brutfune review. I'm using these pencils for this picture, and as you can see, they do so beautiful things. I just love these pencils. I'm totally in love with them. But the thing that I wanted to tell you, or more like that I wanted to talk about with you, is that we are having a little bit of a problem on our hands, I'd say, right here, or more like I have a problem on my hands. The schedule of one video per week might stay this way for the duration of the rest of July, because there are some sad news. As you all may know, or may live in yourself, the pandemic stuff is so dumb, and we will all be so happy when it is finally over. But due to the fact that the numbers are very low at the moment and many people got vaccinated in Germany, we are starting to open some stuff up again. Many restaurants and cinemas are allowed to open their doors back again after more than 1 year, and everything's so good in that terms. And with this wave of openings, I should say, or I want to call it, we are getting the fairs and stuff back into our cities, like little travel fairs, you could call it, with carousels and roller coasters and just stuff for the whole family. And due to the fact that we didn't have many open things during the pandemic and we couldn't do much at all, my boyfriend and I decided to visit our local fair that's here in my town currently, and it was just a very good time. But the sad news start right there, even though I had a good time. So we went to the fair yesterday, and as I said, the weather was beautiful. We had a lot of fun, did some things, won a plushie, the normal stuff you do at a fair. And of course, I wanted to visit the carousels because where I lived before, I was near one of the biggest amusement parks here in Germany, and I visited it pretty frequently, and it was called Phantasialand, and I just loved the roller coasters, loved all the attractions that were like the screamers, you could call it, where everyone was screaming out of fear and excitement when they were doing the ride. And for me, it's like the extremer the stuff, the more fun I have. And with the fair, it was the same thing. The extremer the carousels were, the more fun I had on them. And my boyfriend isn't one who likes that very much, but he tried it out with me, and I was so proud of him that he did. And I actually was on this carousel before, but in one of the curves this carousel does during the ride itself, my neck snapped very, very hard and hit my other shoulder yesterday. And it's not like the first time that I get a little injury on some stuff like this, or that a carousel shakes me up very good and I'm like, oh, I have a little bit of a headache, or a little bit of a ache on the legs because I pressed my legs so hard into the ride itself. But yesterday seemed to be another story. When I went home, I had to work after the fair. I'm in late shift this week, or was in late shift this week. Today would have been my last day for the week till my weekend comes. And I started noticing a pretty sharp headache yesterday, but I was like, hey, we had rain for the last few days, and then it started to get very hot and humid again. And I was like, this weather change, this pretty extreme weather change was a little bit much. You were on your feet for hours. The music was very loud. And of course, even though stuff like this is fun, of course, it's also stressful in some capacity. So I was brushing it off, took an ibuprofen, and just started working. And yeah, I went to bed at midnight after my shift was over. And when I woke up this morning, the sharp pain and headache were still there. And my complete right side, I'm sorry, the complete right side of my body was a little bit, how should I say that? I couldn't move so good. I felt like my arm movement wasn't as good and free as it should be for a normal body, and my neck hurt very bad. Was really sharp pain. It was hurting very, very bad. Nothing I would like to have forever. So it was like, maybe you got a sore muscle or something. I mean, it was pretty hard to stay as firm as possible in the seats on this ride, and I still brushed it off as, yeah, maybe you got some sore muscles. It was a hard day yesterday, and just completely taking a blind eye to what actually happened. And I laid down again, wanted to nap a little bit. I took a little how do you call these things in English? These little blue sacks that you can either throw in the freezer to cool off something when you are hurt, or to warm up in the microwave and put it onto your body. So I made some of those warm, put them into my neck, laid down for another 1 to 2 hours. And when I woke up after that little nap, I wasn't able to get my head up on its own anymore. So it hurt to that point where I had to take my hands and pick myself and my head up from the bed so that I can sit upright again. And I told my mom, I was like, okay, this is way too serious for just being a little sore muscle or anything. I'm going to the doctor right now. Yeah, what is there to say? My doctor wasn't there, but the doctor's office has 2 doctors, and the other doctor knows me pretty well too. I was in his care for a few appointments already, and he said this could be something worse than we think. Let me get the next pencil real quick. Yeah, and like I said, he said it could be way worse than we think. He looked after how good I could move my head without pain, when the pain starts while moving, and how wide the range of my movement even was. And it wasn't good, let me tell you. And I am going to do physiotherapy now for a few weeks. And the gist of it all was this snap in my neck that happened during a turning was so hard that the doctor thinks there's definitely a trauma in my head. Definitely that. And he thinks that a disc could have a prolapse now, and exactly this disc in my neck is pushing too hard on a nerve right now, a nerve that goes up to the brain and that should not at all get inflamed. So we have to, or I have to go to physiotherapy now, so that they can get this nerve back to normal and get the disc hopefully where it belongs again in my spine, so that the nerve doesn't get inflamed or anything. And of course it's pretty hurtful. This stuff will take time, and looking down like this onto a piece of paper is pretty hard at the moment, but I don't want it to do an announcement video without doing anything at all. So I think for a little duration of time this will be possible. So like I said, yeah, we won't have that much videos coming in the next, I'd say 2 weeks, about 2-3 weeks, because of course I want to know if there's anything that develops into more chronic pain for me, which I hope it will not do that. That wouldn't be so great. I have enough pain in my back. I don't want more in the neck for chronic pains. That isn't good at all. So let's just hope that the physiotherapist can fix that. Yeah. You know, it's so dumb. Like, we had 18 months of nothing. Of course, last summer a little bit, a few things were open when the numbers with the pandemic were lower, and during the winter and now the whole beginning of the year, nothing was allowed to open. Now finally, when things start opening up again, the first thing I do, I hurt myself. This is just the sheer luck that I had my whole life, really. I'm doing something, I'm hurting myself while doing it. But yeah, what happened, and the most important thing is that we gonna get it fixed right now. So I'm very sorry for the fact that there's not that much content as I would like to do. I am still going to try to do the review properly. I don't want to rush this at all or anything, so that you guys have something to watch still that is at least a little bit informative and maybe even fun for you. And of course, I hope you can understand that I want to get my health sorted out first. So we are going to do that for the next weeks. How fun is that? Other news in that direction, my home office will end in the next few days, weeks, I think. The next 2 weeks we should be back to normal office again for work. So that's a thing too. And due to the fact that I wanted to get my subscription for the public transport, I wanted to get another year of a subscription, but due to the fact that I found my job last year, during the pandemic was funny somehow. But my town has a subscription model where people who don't have that much money get the same subscription for less money than people who work and have more money on their hands. And this was some other kind of subscription, at least on paper. So I had to take a new one, and now I don't have this this card where I'm allowed to drive inside of this town for the month of July. So that's pretty dumb too, because I have to drive even pretty far out here when I'm going to my office to work. So that's a little bit dumb too. But for the 1st of August, the subscription is active again with a new card that functions normally again. So that's a funny thing too. But it's so crazy with the papers here in Germany. For example, I got my first shot on the... Was it the 1st? Or was it the 31st? Let me think. Right. It was the 3rd. Okay, it was the 3rd. The 3rd of July, the Saturday. My mom and I, we got the first shot of COVID vaccination. And we had to bring, of course, our pass where you can note the vaccine you got itself. We had to bring our pass or passport, so that the people working there can see that it is in fact us, and the appointment we got is our appointment, and something where you write down all the stuff you may have or have not, and if you're allergic to something, all of that stuff we had to bring with us. We had to sign papers twice. One where you say, I read what is going on and what could happen, and I am willing to take the risk for the shot against the coronavirus and stuff like that. And this paper itself, where it states what could happen, what could not happen, which kinds of vaccination are even possible, this had a little tiny space for a signature too, and we had to sign this too. Otherwise we wouldn't get the shot. And I was like, I didn't see that space. I read the 5 pages of paper, of course, but I didn't see the space that we had to sign there. And they were like, but you need that, otherwise you can't get the COVID shot. And I was like, but I am standing here, you know that I am me, and you have the other page where I already signed and said, I know that stuff could happen and I'm willing to take the risk so that I can get the COVID shot. And it's so crazy. We have a pretty famous song here that exactly describes that. If there are 100 papers, even 200 papers, and one signature on one of those papers is missing, you essentially did everything for nothing. It's brutal. It's so dumb sometimes. But yeah, they printed this stuff out for us, and then we signed that stuff, even though we were standing there and saying, God dang, just give us that COVID shot. We are willing to take the risk. Please just vaccinate us. And yeah, after that, everything was okay. So we got the shot and went back home. And my arm hurt for about 1.5 days. It was pretty bad pain, I'd say. And while working and especially like writing emails and stuff, it was pretty hurtful, but nothing that I couldn't take. So that was okay for me. And I mean, after one day of really bad pain, it was already much, much better. So that wasn't the biggest problem, luckily. I forgot 2 spaces with this screen. I hope you can see that good enough. Don't know how good the lighting is at the moment. Maybe I can get it a little bit lighter if it's too dark in the cutting program, but I will see that. So how are you all doing? Is there a little bit more luck in your life than mine? I sure hope so. No, it's not funny. But as I always say, if you have pain and a pretty miserable life at the moment, sarcasm is something very good. I need the color chart. I need a pretty dark brown for that. So let's see. 114 looks good. So yeah, like I said, I hope you have some more uplifting news than I do. If there's something cool happening in your life, you can of course tell me in the comments. Would be very cool to hear something better than only pain and dumb stuff. Maybe there's a little story in your life to smile about. So if there's anything, write me a cool story. I'm always happy to hear from you. Yeah, other than that, I just hope that we get that fixed real quick. And at the moment, I don't know why, but I am into paint by numbers a little bit again. I found a super cool picture. You even see the sticker right here. This is something I'm working on at the moment. This is of course only the preview picture. I don't know, did some of you see the Joker movie? 2 years ago, I think it came out. I saw it pretty recently. Never was the biggest Batman fan, but of course everyone knows the Joker. That's something that's a pop culture figure everyone, I think, does know at least something about. And I thought the backstory in the Joker movie itself was a pretty cool one. So I'm gonna tell you that right now. Big spoiler alert. If you want to watch this movie, please just how can we do a visual cue? I'd say when I'm done talking about it, I make something like this, so you know when I'm done with that and the spoilers are over. I thought the sheer story itself, the backstory was such a cool one. So the man that plays the Joker in the movie, it's just like shit happens to him, even though he really tries to live a normal life. He's caring about his mother, and the mother worked for Bruce Wayne's father in the past, and they are trying to get out of their miserable life somehow. And even though the character that plays the Joker itself was in a psychiatric ward, he tries to work as a normal clown and tries to earn money. And like I said, cares for his mother. And no matter what he does, he always gets a big fat kick in the ass from life. First of all, people hurt him while he's working. After that, his boss doesn't believe him that he got attacked while working. And then he gets a gun for self-defense. This gun shows up at a job he does in a children's hospital, so he gets fired and he's getting beaten down more and more. And on the final day of when he got fired, some Wall Street idiots just bring him to the brink of his sanity, and he just snaps. This is such a real thing. He just snaps. He's like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm not your fucking carpet you can walk on like I'm not your goddamn idiot. And he kills the three men, the three brokers, I guess, they were supposed to be brokers. And I think this is such an impactful thing that he stands there and says, you know what? You're walking on me like I'm trash, and it's enough right now. I don't want to be treated like this anymore. And I think that's such a powerful move. And of course, after that, he tries to live a normal life. Later, he finds out that most of his psychic problems come from the fact that his mother was extremely violent to him in the past, and he forgot that during therapy, or he wanted to forget it maybe. And it's just some twists in the story, and somewhere down the line, his mother lies to him and says he's a son of he's the brother of Bruce Wayne. It's a very cool story in general, and I'm sorry. Near the end of the film, he's going to his favorite show host. He was normally watching together with his mom in the evenings because he wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and like with YouTube videos nowadays, he got viral with a clip from the stand-up comedy show where no one laughed but he himself during his because of his sickness during this show. And he actually gets invited for a live show, and this is like the biggest statement in the movie. He's sitting there and he's telling the show host, you know what, I was the clown who killed the three young men in the subway. And he was like, okay, why did you do that? And after asking him about this, he was like, let me crack another joke. And of course, the situation was very intense, and the show host was like, no, you're not cracking a joke. You're going to the police right now, getting to interrogation, and we are going to see if you really killed the three men. And after that, he's cracking the joke like, what is happening if humanity and society treats you like shit, and you have that like shit treated people who gets like shit treated human who gets an opportunity to fight back. And then he just shoots the show host. It's such a cool and impactful scene in the movie. I really like this. So if you're like someone who likes this anti-hero stuff, just watch that movie. That's so cool. And I don't know how it is with the complete DC universe or anything, if this is the accepted backstory for the Joker now. I don't know, but I hope it is, because it's just a very cool story. And as far as I know, we don't have too much background knowledge about him, especially if we look like to the Dark Knight movies where Heath Ledger played the Joker. There's not that much of any informations of backstory or anything, so I don't know. So here's the visual cue. We are done with the spoilers for the movie. Yeah, like I said, it's a cool one. If you like anti-hero stuff, just watch that. It's a good watch. It's a little bit longer. I think it was around the 2 hours mark. But it's worth it. It's really worth it. So we are down to the last color. I mean, it's only the eyes. Not that much. So this is done. very shortly too. This was a thing, I just wanted to get one of those magazines. I saw these in another coloring haul video, and I was like, God damn it, we got these magazines too, especially like on our bookshops at the main train station, and I went and drove to 2 different locations to find at least one of those books. Actually, I wanted to get the tinier one. This is the bigger one of the two. And I thought the tinier one had like, on one of the sides, it has like little half pictures. That's a very cute book in general. And I wanted to have this one, but they were sold out everywhere. So I got the bigger one for now. And I think I will take a 1-year subscription to the tiny magazine, because you just pay for all 4 magazines at once, and as soon as they get published, you get them delivered to your door. So that isn't as bad, I think. And at least I'm making sure that these don't sell out when I want one. So the picture is done. Let's see, how does it look in the bag. Up here, yeah, looks pretty similar. I know the pink was a little bit lighter than on the back, but I think it looks pretty good. What do you think? So, thank you guys so much for watching in advance. I hope you still stay tuned, even though less videos are coming for the next, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks. But I hope you still come back when there are some videos. And other than that, if you like the video, have some cool story to tell me, like I asked you to, write them down in the comments or write me on Instagram if you want. And as I always say, you stay safe, stay healthy, and have the best day you could ever have. Bye bye!